All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, Ahaya has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. You see, the topic is who are saved? Who are the saved ones? We know that we have not a heaven and earth in which we have created to send anyone to. So Haya never he has not issued that, not even to the Son, that we should tell who's heading or whose destiny it's where, or is it heaven or is it hell? Sister Deborah have not a heaven and a hell to put no one in, but I can tell you, you can put yourself. After this lesson, you're going to pretty much figure out uh, a lot of things is clearly seen regarding who is saved and who is not. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. So the topic again is who are saved? Who are saved? And we're going to cover this topic with the fathers in the heavens, Ahia himself. He has a brand that he has branded within his. And those that are branded for his name's sake are the saved ones. Okay. And a lot of us don't really understand it. It's not because of our works and what we do and how we do things and how we conduct ourselves that tells us that we are saved or that we are uh, uh, destined to heaven or hell. So, what I'm about to reveal to you is that heavens had already orchestrated the beginning to the end. Could he be the beginning to the end without having a beginning and closing his beginning at the end? No, he could not. So that's why a lot of us don't want to embrace him as the beginning and the end because we really don't know the beginning. And if we don't know the beginning, then we really don't know the end. We don't really know what he stands for. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to show you that the Father, Ahia, has a brand, and the brand is called righteous belief, faith, and fear. It's a brand that he has branded those that will be saved. Okay. But he branded them before the foundation of the world. And let me tell you how uh, smart and intelligent that is. It's to keep anyone and everyone from thinking and believing, even though they still think it in their flesh, they still believe it in their flesh, that we're all saved, or that I'm saved, or I'm destined for eternal life. You know, you all have heard that saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And it makes a lot of sense that it really does. I mean, if you know what heavens and you have heard what heaven is like, why are you afraid of dying? Well, what going to share with you is some insight on those that are saved. They are those that are branded for his name's sake. So, Sister Deborah, what do you mean, those that are branded? See, the Most High orchestrated everything before the foundation of the world. That means We think we telling you all something, we teaching you something, we revealing things to you. No, 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 no. Heaven had it first. Okay, we just walking that thing out right now. We just talking that thing out. We just acting that thing out. But heavens had already orchestrated. He already knew who was going to be in the lake of fire. He knows who all going to be going into the eternal heaven. He knows. So while we're down here busy role playing in our flesh, he's sitting high and low saying they just clowning. That's all they doing is clowning. And that's a state of mind we must get out of. Stop thinking that we have to prove ourselves to the most high or higher. We got to show him we know how to walk upright. We got to show him we know how to talk, upright. We know we got to reveal to him all of this instead of just focusing on him and just glorifying him for just being who he is. See, that's it. That's all. Did you all know that's what we were created for? Did y'all know that? We were created to praise him, to honor and worship him. That was the true creation, you see, of us as human beings. Now, even though that is the true and is the purpose of why we were created to praise him. Don't think he don't know who he created to praise him. Don't think he don't know who created to not praise him. And that's is for those who want to clown down here right now, and been clowning. And for those who want to take on teaching, preaching, and leading the multitude out of their flesh, and they want to do that out of their flesh because the flesh can easily be deceived. So therefore, those that are walking to where they are really ready, they're tired of serving man, going to these platforms, seeing the reality of life, of all the crime and the darkness and the wicked, and the things that people are saying about our Father, the things that people are portraying about our Father. I'm going to tell you something. You got to, somewhere in us, we should be tired, you know? And the Father said, well, Deborah, I have set you free. So you can't get weary and tired because I'm telling y'all, if you just think me and let me take care of this, but we don't want to do that. We want to think me, him, she, her, them, everything else. But the Father said that if we just lean our head on his bosom, he'll show us the way. Now, this is what happened. Those that are saved, they hold something dear that belongs to the most higher. Those are the ones that has righteous belief, faith, and fear branded in them. Okay, for a highest namesake. He sent them down here with that. Now he knew that he was sending them in the spirit to be branded, but he knew when they get down here, the flesh was weak to what? The ways of the sin and Satan's ways. So therefore, he knew that he had said that Satan is on the earth to deceive the whole world. He's not coming down here to deceive this one over here and not this one. He comes to deceive the whole world. But so if Ahiah knew that he was sending he is down here, why would he send them down here with no weapons? It doesn't make any sense. And even him himself, he say, I have predestined thee. I ordained thee. I knew thee before you was in your mother's womb. These things let you know that the Father had predestined his, okay, with the brand of righteous belief, faith, and fear. That means that's their help. That's the same thing Yeshua needed. When Yeshua came as the Son of Man, when Yeshua came as the Son of Man, when Yeshua came as the Son of Man, the Father said, wait a minute, Deborah, they still ain't gripped. Yeah, he came because I sent him. But I didn't just send him born of a woman. I sent him with my word, my power, my spirit. And that's what he's saying for as his brand of righteous faith, belief, and fear. How did Sister Deborah come to the conclusion that the Gentiles? Because I was like, Father, you mean to tell me all they have to do is believe? What is this believe that they just have to believe and they got it? I mean, faith, their faith and their belief, and they're saved. I don't get that. And the Father broke that thing so deep down in me. He said, Deborah, it's a brand from heaven. I said, wait a minute, you mean talk like that brand you told me about? He said, yeah. I said, oh, I would have never thought that. I wouldn't have never thought that no one is coming down here that came from the bosom of Yah that will not return back to him in his heaven. Those that he have branded from the heavens, they coming back. I don't care what the world have said about them, what the world think about them, what the world feel about them. It's not in their power nor their control. They are branded for his name's sake to return. And that's how a lot of things that the sinful fathers back in the beginning, that's why they got away with a lot of things, because they were already branded to return back to the bosom of the Father as far as eternal. See, anybody that has that righteous, that belief, that faith, and that fear branded in them, then therefore they're going to return no matter what they do on the face of the earth. You see, no matter what they do on the face of the earth, they already sealed. Let me give you a little help. You ever heard of the Lamb Book of Life? That is those that are in the Lamb Book of Life. That is those that are in the Lamb Book of Life. When were they put in the Lamb Book of Life? Before the foundation of the world. Before the Son of Man came, born of a woman to be sacrificed, he was already sacrificed in the heavens. So Ahiah had orchestrated everything from the heavens, even his perfect will when he created the things that he did in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. That was perfect. Why is Sister Deborah calling it a perfect will and that many of you all should fall in love with it? It's because it was without sin. I think we are so unjust and unrighteous and wicked and evil if we can't be able to look in that book and see the perfect will of the Father in chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Genesis. Just telling you this is what I did. You know why they don't want to look in the perfect will? Because in the perfect will, he never said him, he said them. You see, that's one of them. And as you read it, you tend to see the power of the mystery that sits and rests in Genesis 1 and Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. This is what the flesh of man will not own up to nor teach and preach, because they don't want you to know that the Father has already orchestrated your mission to where you will be going eternal. Why would they do that, Deborah? The same reason why the heathens and the Gentiles have done the things to us and went overboard what Ahiah had ordered them to do. But what we don't understand, the will of the Father allowed them to do it. That's that permissive will. See, when the Father cursed us, the Gentiles and the heathen should have treated us based on the curse. And you hear a lot of Hebrew Israelite men say, oh, they went overboard. They stepped their boundaries. Wait a minute. What is their boundaries? What are their boundaries? The permissive will of the Father. And that's what everything with our flesh. At any time, he can shut us down and shut us off. He can, I mean, why? Because the things that we do that he allowed, that he don't have to, but he allowed. And if we had a chance to look at all the things that the Father have allowed us to do through the permissive will, we'll say when we bound to hell. You see what I'm saying? We should be bound to hell. And this is things that you won't get men nor women that's walking in spirit and truth teaching. So I'm going to go into this to let you all. Let me ask y'all something. You know, I'm gonna set an example. I was gonna ask y'all this question yesterday, but I'm gonna put it before you all. You remember where it says, "Train up a child in a way that he shall go." Okay, and when he grow old, he will not depart. Okay, now notice it's separating a child from an elderly when it says, "And when he grow old." He didn't say, "And when he become a man." No, it says, "And when he grow when he and when he get grow old." I'm like saying, "Father, that's a mystery in that." He said, "Yes, it is." And it's something that no one has ever preached nor taught about, because they don't go over in that area. Now, Sister Deborah, when I'm seeing that, I'm seeing it as if the Father is saying, "Train them up in the way they shall go." And what way is that? The way of the Father. The way of the Father. You see how we missed it? Because who knows the way? You see? Which way? How can we train up our children our way? No. He said, "Train up a child in the way he should go." The number one way to train a child up is in a higher. You see? Because old to me represent it's time for them to cease. But if they remember when mom and dad talked them about the most high or higher, then before they leave out of here, they can still have him with them. See, the only thing guaranteed to stay with our children is what we put in them, that is spirit and truth. Isn't that sad? Let me give you a living witness. Y'all, I know I'm going off the topic, but I'm just showing you how we are bent up and we are bent down. We really don't understand spirit and truth, because a lot of people will say, when the heathens did this, they gave us the wrong information. They gave us, but now, after I went to that program and watched that people talk, it was Yahuwah ben Yahuwah, something like that. That was the name of that, and saw that they had been doing this years ago with this Hebrew Israelite movement, but it was a very powerful, wealthy. It was just like the Moors and the Muslims. All of them never did right by their people, and nobody wants to tell the truth and shame the devil. They want the devil to look good 24/24. I just think it's sad with the Moors and the Muslims and any others that have lived this life in among the Israelites, and we among them, and no one gave the glory to the Father in the heavens, the Most High or higher. They were all wicked, you guys. They were doing a lot of murdering, and it's still like that. Still like that. Everything against Yah. And this was going on back then. I was so shocked to see that video, and I did not, Sister Deborah did not know that stuff exists. See, this shows you that a higher keep you away from the things that means nothing in such a midnight hour. Because when I saw that, I was like, now, I just could not believe that these people were living this way, and killing their own people. But the Father said, "Deborah, well, what didn't I tell you in Ezekiel?" He said, "You sound like Ezekiel," when I was trying to tell him what they were doing to me in the land that I gave them. Why is it we don't believe the Father in giving us insight on who our men really are more than anything? We just overlook, and it's not so much to put hate and division between them. What kind of hate can you put on them when the Father says petrol hate is already loaded on them? What kind of division can you bring between your men? Now they going against each other. Brothers killing brothers. There's no unity, no nothing. But let's get back to where he says, "Train up a child in a way that he should go. And when he get old," and I'm like, say, "Father, Old as he's about to croak. He about to die. He's old now. How is it what you train him up as a child gonna affect him when he get old? Just think of that, child. So I was asking Father this. This was years ago. He said it's because they got it bent, Deborah. It's when we step out of the spiritual aspect of what he's talking about, and we take everything fleshly because we can't see it in the spiritual realm. See, he telling me that, like I told you all, I trained up my kids in everything that he had given me. And yes, there were times where I kind of felt sad about it because I eat from meat and I try giving them milk and some meat, you see? So they wasn't able to digest it, but I gave it to them. But guess what? As they get old, they gonna remember the meat in which mother had fed them. You get what I'm saying? So this is what he's talking about. He's not talking about train them up in the way, because you first have to know the way before you able to train him up. And that's why you got so many parents in all kind of lifestyle, and these kids are coming up just chaotic. And that's what you see, because we're thinking training him up meaning just give him some food to eat, and a place to stay, and have drugs in the house, guns, alcohol, and parties, and fighting, and killing, and gang banging, and rapping to the wicked beat. And we think that that's training our kids up. I'm serious. I am dead serious. That's the reality of it. That's the truth of the whole matter. And we thinking because we might go to church on Sunday and Bible class on Wednesday. No, that's not the training. He wants you to train them up in him. Remember yesterday? I don't know if you all remember yesterday. I told you years ago. Y'all probably think Sister Deborah's crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all anyway. I used to stay in prayer, asking my Father to save my children. And it got too real bad, child. It was so emotional. It was always in my feelings, just all the time praying that, Father, you save and sanctify them and keep them and deliver them from the work of the enemy. I was always putting my kids before the Father. And he said, Deborah, hold up, hold up. How about just continuing to give them me? Give them what I've given you. You know I've given you me. Give them what I've given you. And if anything were to happen to you, they will have me. And for them to have me, they will have you. You see what I'm saying? That's almost like, no, it's all, matter of fact, it can stand side by side. Train them up in the way they should go. You see? But if you don't know the way to go, so how can you train them up in the way they should go? And a lot of women don't understand. He wasn't talking to you. His whole mission was that the men bring their daughters and sons up in the fear of Yah, teaching them about Yah. Instead, because they couldn't have their ways in their household, which was slowful, not wanting to work, not wanting to pay bills, not wanting to take care of this household, not wanting to do anything outside of the wicked and evil things, then he had to go. He was not showing the children anything positive. You think that's training the children in the way that they should go? When this is what the Father is saying. So even us today, we might look at it and say, when he said train up a child in a way he should go, women gonna have to understand he wasn't talking to you. He wasn't talking to you. He was saying this to the men. When this is put out like this, he was telling the men, even the chastising. He said, Father, do not cause your children to wrath. Why? Because chastising were supposed to come from the side of the men. And instead, they decided that if they don't have their way and don't live life the way they have been living it, then there's no other way. And the sister Deborah is really basing it on, let's go 300 adults that I've sat down and I've actually talked to. And if they could come on here and tell you their lifestyle, you all, let me tell you something. It will blow your mind. And a lot of you all out there, y'all faking it till you make it. But let me tell you something. You ain't going to make it because you've been faking it. And the thing about it, because a lot of things to the light and put on the table. So a higher can show you, hey, I got this. I wipe that table up and make that table shine. But a lot of us, it's so much darkness in our lives to where we thinking we can just walk around and pretend or put it under the rug and it's still sitting there. We got to get right with the Father in that area. But a lot of things the Father has called our men to really be head over, and because the broken home is because the broken chain of our men that leads to the Father is broken. See, and when that chain is broken, it's the connection to the Father. When it's broken, then the chain to the mother is broken from the husband to the father of the husband. And then when that chain is broken, the chain to the children is broken. See, a lot of people want to make it the chain to the woman. No, no, no. Because if it was the chain to the woman, then the man would still have a chain connected to the father. So it have to be the chain of the father that's broken because that's the broken piece to the family. See, they never think of it like that. Nor will they see it like that. It's too late, child. Now it's time for those who are walking in the light and walking in spirit and truth to take on the fact that Ahaya got another special revelation for you that always been present there. It always been present. It's just that no church, no pastor, no bishop, no apostle, no teacher, nobody is willing to go into an area that is out of their flesh. Let's put it like that. Because then again, they can't because that's all that they have. We don't understand that Ahaya have already predestined us. Okay. Now let me explain this. Before heaven and earth was created, everyone that Ahaya son from the heavens that's in the Lamb Book of Life, you had a brand. Okay. All of us had a brand put on us. Okay. Those same brands hold up when the Messiah came. Okay. And he had to come to collect the sheep that was already branded before the foundation of the world. So what does that do? That sets you free from the inside of your spirit to the outside of your flesh. Even though you in a captivity curse, it still sets you free to understand. You mean I can serve and I can worship this most high a higher from the inside because on the outside I'm really set free? Yes. You don't have to go under the tradition of man, the rulership and the rule and the control. Why? Because he broke the chain between him and the Father years ago and still today. And if that chain between the man and the Father, the man and the Father is broken, guess what? Then the relationship between the woman and the man is broken, and the relationship between the mother and the children doing her role is broken, because now the children must be able to get what a higher created. Mother was to nourish and take care of, but the father were the one to give them what? Train up a child in a way that they shall go. And when they get old, that's what it says. They shall not depart. To me, old is it's like when you get into that age where you elderly and you old, you know what I'm saying? And I think to the point where at not any time, but you're elderly and you're getting close to your end days, you won't depart. And you can pick it right back up. What you were trained as a child. Because throughout your life, you decide to get into drugs. You saw mama and daddy on alcohol. They was alcoholics. Daddy molested all four children. I mean, y'all, it's y'all. The reality of that thing is so high. I say them 300 people that I've spoken to, all of them said the same thing. They can't be lying. You all, it hasn't happened to me, so I can't say that that it has happened to me. But if I've talked to within my life 300 men and women, and they I say more than half is older than I am, and the story still feels the same when I hear it hurting, because the reality to it is a lot of darkness took place. A lot of people would say, well, the sons are missing the father. Baby, 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 baby. If you could just take those 300 children, okay, a lot of them are men, and hear them tell you, I would have rather have my dad out of the house than to have him there. See, this is why the Father has orchestrated everything from the heaven. So when we get down here, one can't say, "Oh, you did it, you did." No, no, no. It's revealing what is what, because it's all off balance from what He said it should be. And we don't look at nothing about what a higher ordered from the beginning. We look at everything that in a tradition and the way man say things should go. But I thank the Father. This is what I really would like to say to you. I just thank the Father that He orchestrated everything from heaven. As a prophet is in the wilderness, let me tell you, I think that's that might be what make me stand firm and tall, is to know that you did this way back before the foundation of the world. Then what are they talking about now? You see what I'm saying? If you did this way back then, Father, what are they doing now? What are they talking about? See, it's because when He teaches you what took place before the foundation of the world, it's a way of saying you are definitely, bam, my elect, because I elect you to go and live a life knowing that it all started in the heavens, and that there are things that you're going to see, you're going to behold, you're going to understand. It's going to be clear. You're going to be able to discern. You're going to be able to prophesy. All these gifts was restored upon me, not when Sister Deborah got an old lady, when I was a young child. And these things I still hold dear to. So when you see it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and if he and when he get old, what's the connection to a child versus when he get old? What about all what he doing in between? You see, Ahia is speaking of train him up regarding who I am. And it throughout his life, he might turn away from me and go in another direction. But when he get old, he'll turn back. You see, that's what he's talking about. Back to who? To the Father. That's what he's talking about. Because the things that in the last 400 years, how are we going to train our children up in anything outside of in a higher? The stories goes way back, y'all. It's deeper than deep. And what I notice about us Hebrew Israelites, we paint so many pretty pictures, and it's all horrible, and none of it is pretty, because it's built up on a lot of lies and a lot of deceiving, so that we can blame somebody else. And it seems like to me we are more focusing on blaming somebody else for our own sins in our flesh. We blame everybody. But when you know who Ahia is, you can see. You can see, because Ahia give you the insight. He sets you free so you can see. And when he speaks of righteousness, belief, and faith and fear, y'all, that's a brand from him. Faith is a gift from Yah. Now you got faith in the flesh, but the faith in the spirit, y'all, that's a gift from Yah. Did y'all know that? 99 point trillion don't know that. They think faith is something that they can kindle, they can roar up on, or they can create. No, faith is the substance of what cannot be seen but believed. And what do y'all hear them say? Faith is without works is dead. You dead. You dead. You dead. Because you over in the flesh. Come on over in the spirit where it's supposed to be. See, that's how sick they are. People will tell you that old Christian way. Okay, Faith without works is dead. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you understand that? No, they don't. And you hear many people telling you that to deceive you. That if I got this, I got this, I build this, I build this, I do this, I do this. That's because I got faith. And because I got faith, I got this. Y'all get it? That's not of y'all. Faith is the substance of things unseen, but yet believe. Now, what is it you can believe in, but you just can't see it? You get what I'm saying? So they lie, they lie, they lie. Faith is the substance of things unseen, but yet believe, because faith is a brand of a higher that he brands in you. For what? When Deborah, I needed you to know I exist. So I brand faith in you so you can always look to me. See, and we take this faith, we take everything out of order. Faith is what you can't see, but yet you can believe. Why? Because it lives in you. That's why you can't see it. And the works are not the natural works, they are spirit. That identifies faith. Faith is not the works. He said, without works, faith is dead without works. Now, is faith a gift from Yah? It is in the spirit realm. So therefore, you have your works of that faith has to be spirit. They missed it again. They missed it again. So it's a training. It's a way to deceive people. And it's a very, it runs up there pretty high. It runs pretty high because they will preach that thing and wear that thing out, and people be saying, well, I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to have works to show that I have. No, no, no. Faith, you can't show that, baby. How you gonna show the gift of Yah that's in you? It is spirit and it is truth. Faith is the gift of Yah. That's why a lot of people don't understand the sins of Abraham, Isaac, and David and them were real. Those were real sin. They weren't right, you all. But because these men were branded before they got down here to do what? To return back to the Father. And what did the Father say? Blameless, Deborah. I said, okay, I got you. Blameless. Why? Because they came down here. You, same way. Did you know when he's sitting, he tell the angels to go mark you? You already marked in the spirit. That's how they going to be able to identify you. You see? You already marked in the spirit. He wanted them to mark you in the spirit so it can reign in your flesh. It can be seen. Anybody come up on you, they're going to have to back down. And it's not because they see the mark on you from a higher. You are marked from the spirit, and it reveals it in the flesh to those spirit that comes after you. Now, they're going to have to stand down. See, this is what we need to take a higher out of the flesh and put him where he belongs. Belief, same way. Belief. Belief is connected to righteous. Righteous connected to belief. Belief, righteous, faith, and fear are all gifts of the Most High that brands in you. And when it's branded in you, guess what you do? When Yeshua died, okay, it was you that were already branded, that was put in the Lamb Book of Life. That's why it says, he said, you're in the Lamb Book of Life. And the Lamb Book of Life was before the foundation. You are written. Written was before the foundation of the world, y'all. I know y'all know that. But I just want to say it like that to let you know the struggle is real in the way flesh want you to be deceived. You see? Because it's what Sister Deborah is doing, and it's setting you free in your spirit so you can serve Yah. Don't serve Sister Deborah. Don't serve this pastor, this leader, this bishop. Don't serve them. Serve Ahia in your spirit. And the beauty thing about it, if you got a husband and y'all can serve y'all together, that's the most beautiful place to be in this day and time. Is to have a wife that serve your father like you feel about your father. You don't want to be the one that has to role play your feeling for the most high or higher, and then she got to see you, and then she got to get it. No, that is not righteous. That ain't got nothing to do with it. She gonna have to see and be judged separate from you, and you gonna have to be judged separate from her. So Ahaya ain't got you down here role playing it. He wants you to understand this is a relationship, and this is what I say. Men that, and this, you all, I got, like I said, I know I got beautiful daughters, and guess what? I got handsome sons. But I am afraid for them to be involved with anyone. I don't want my sons even involved with these women that's out here. I do not sit and lie to you. And I don't want my daughters definitely with these men, because we are in the midnight hour. Okay. Now, whatever the father does, he does. Why? Because he already done it. So I have to also keep in mind, because not only am I spirit, I'm flesh. And yes, I have gotten my flesh under the subjection to my spirit, but it does not mean I'm perfect. I'm perfect in serving Yah in my spirit, but my flesh still sin. You get what I'm saying? And it still feel a certain way of how, like, not wanting my daughters to marry and not wanting my son to marry, to don't even have nothing to do with nobody. That's how I feel about it, because of the type of children I have brought them up to be and how they have turned out to be. Let's say it like that. They are not perfect. They are not. But I will tell you this, that they will make a difference in somebody's life, because the word that I have instilled in them. I put it like that. And they're not out here to hurt and harm and take outside of my youngest daughter. And I told her, I called her out and let her know that's witchcraft and sorcery. And you think that didn't hurt her feeling? Oh, that hurt her feeling. I don't care. Truth is to set you free, but sometimes it has to break you to make you. And if that's what it have to do, go, Father, go. You know, but those that are down here, you all that are down here, that's already branded, and would you believe those that are under the as deceivers, and those that are under Satan, they're after you, because they know already you already are branded. But guess what? They know that they can't take you where they want to take you. They can't do with you to you what they want to do to you. So they'll go around your loved ones who are not branded. You get it? That's how they do it. They'll go around it, friends, neighbors. You'll go somewhere and you'll have a bad experience with someone. That's how they do it. They come around others to just cause you to have a bad day, or things happening to you. Now, in the book of Hebrew, now listen to this. In the book of Hebrew, chapter 11. In the book of Hebrew, chapter 11. And we're just going to go through Hebrew chapter 11. Watch this here. In verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's a feeling that you can hope, but it's not faith. It's not your works, because your works can be seen, can it? Can't your works be seen? Yes. So faith is not, when he's saying faith without works is dead. He's just letting you know without spiritual works, it's dead. Why? Because it's about you setting up flesh, and flesh is dead in the eyes of Yah. That's what he said. Faith without spiritual works is dead. It's not the faith that Ahia is talking about. Because the faith that he's saying is the faith that he put in you, and it is spiritual. It is not the faith that you can work to make it look like you got faith. Faith can't be seen like that. It is spiritual. It is in you. It's a gift from Yah. And this is what it says in verse 2, Hebrew chapter 11, verse 2. For by it the elders obtain a good report. Now watch this here. Verse 3. Through faith, we understand the world was framed by the word of Yah. Through faith, the whole world was created. Now, doesn't that show you that faith exists before anything on the earth? Wow, it's showing you that Ahia is faith. Listen to this. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 3. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yah. Through what? Through faith. Ahia is faith, belief, righteous, and fear. So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So when you're looking at everything, you see your car, you see your house, you run around here, see it and believing, I got this, I got, well, wait a minute. Faith is the substance of things unseen. He said everything you see, everything was created by faith, and he is faith. A lot of people don't understand when they run around here trying to master the name. Baby, it's so many names you can lock him in on. Righteous, belief, faith, fear. It's just so many characteristics of who he is. And here it says, through faith, we understand that the worlds were created by the word of Yah. But through how? Through faith, because Ahia is faith. So if we run around here trying to make works because we say we got faith, you're working for Satan. You're working for your flesh and Satan. Now you look down here to verse 4. Look what it says. By faith, Abel offered unto Ahia a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. How did he do that? Because faith was already in Abel. That's why. You don't see no verses telling you anything that works that Cain did to show that his faith. He had faith was already in him. That's why it was easy for him to offer to Ahia, because it was something in him that caused him to offer an excellent sacrifice to Yah. Well, how did he know that? Wait a minute. And why didn't Cain know that? Because Cain didn't have faith. Faith was put in Abel. And when it was placed there, Abel gave a more excellent sacrifice willingly and glad to sacrifice to the Most High. And Cain, no. Listen to this here. He offers a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that. Listen to this. No. Listen to this, y'all. This is what I was trying to explain to y'all. Let's go back. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 4. By faith, Abel offered unto Ahia a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. Didn't I tell y'all? He didn't come. Let me show you let me tell you something. The reason why I already knew who Cain was, because I'm a student of the Ruach and I learned from the wilderness, is when, this is what I did. When I saw that Adam knew Eve and she bare Cain. And Eve said the father has given her a man child, something like that. And then it says, and Eve had Abel. And I'm saying, wait a minute, what happened to Adam knowing Abel? Why didn't Adam knew Eve again? And she said the same thing she said with Cain. I said, wait a minute, Father, something wrong with that. He said, it is. Don't you see what it is? I said, yeah. Abel ain't born of her. Abel was placed there. You see? So he was the righteous. That's why he came and gone. He came and he left. Because I'm like saying, well, why did you let Cain take Abel's life? Because his mission was just to come to go, Deborah. But you wouldn't be able to see it. You go back to Genesis. Let me go back there. You go back to Genesis and you won't even see. She did not. Sh- Let me show you something. Just like Yeshua. Remember Yeshua? He was born of a woman. He was the son of man. The son of man. Letting you know he had flesh. Well, that's how Abel was. You see? It wasn't that Mary had Joseph. So I'm just showing you how the ignorance of those who teaches be so far left and a higher way over here on the right. So watch this here. Let me show you that where it says. Let me show you that because I want you to see that. I want you to hear that. Now here it is. In Genesis chapter 4, it says, and Adam knew Eve, his wife. Let's say that again. Adam knew Eve, his wife. That means a sexual encounter. Okay. Now watch this here. And she conceived. She conceived because Adam knew her. Now watch this here. And bare Cain and said, I got a man from Yah. Now watch this here. And she again bared his brother Abel. Bam! Why didn't it say Adam knew Eve and she bared another son, Abel? Because this here's where you know in the spiritual realm, Ahia can take you outside of his word, but yet you can be still in his word. You get what I'm saying? This is what the Ruach HaKodesh does. He come to teach you all things. And I'm sitting my little self in that class raising his hand. Wait a minute. Why didn't Adam knew Eve? He bared Abel. What's going on? And then this is where he comes and he tells me because she didn't have, it wasn't Adam and it wasn't her and him knowing him knowing Eve and she bearing. No, it said again she bare. It didn't say again Adam and Eve. That's why it didn't really let you know it. And see, a lot of people don't understand stuff like that. Just I'm gonna show you another one. Is where he tells me, and this was when I was a teenager. He says, Deborah, when I created Adam and Eve, they wasn't the only people I created after them. I created other people. You see, that's the connection to Cain saying that they're gonna take, in a sense, take his life. They're gonna, because if they're gonna be after him to take his life because he slew his son, he killed his brother. How do they gonna know all that? A lot of the sick mindsets of the flesh of men would say, oh, he took his sister's name and he had babies by his sisters. No, he did not. No, he did not. Because here is showing you that she had she had Cain first, and then Abel came next. And then it went into them being young boys, and one brother killed the other one. You didn't hear of no little sister. And if they had little sisters from Adam and Eve, they had to been newborns. So what Cain taking them messing with his newborn sisters? So that just shows you the mindset of people. So what I wanted to show you in here is Ahia is the only one can step into the word, into this book. He's the only one. Ahia is the only one can step in this book and out of this book. Who in the live chat knows how is it that Ahia is the only one can step into the book and out at the same time? How? Mm. You have to know that he is the word. The word is him, and the word is with him. And it was before there was a book. Okay? So you have to understand this book is not the word. It is instructions and direction that was given to us, okay, to study. And yes, his fingerprint has got his power printed in this book. But the only way you're going to know it is through his spirit. That's why through his spirit coming to you, the whole idea is to teach you all things. And he ain't telling you to let man teach you. He's saying let him teach you from the inside out. And this is why a lot of people don't know that that uh the brand of righteous belief, faith, and fear is what he branded in you before the foundation of the world. What does that do for people, Deborah? It sets the captives free. It sets you free. It keeps you from running all over the place, trying to master everything somebody's spilling over in your ear and in your mind. But then let me give you the key to something. You will never see them go to Deuteronomy 28 and master the end game. These men will stay away from Deuteronomy 28. Why? Because it shows them that I'm going to destroy them. They don't want to cover that. They'll cover everything from Genesis to Revelation, but they don't want to cover the fact of Deuteronomy 28. They just went in there. They took out slavery, the ship, and the oppressed. They took that out and made them a religion. That's what they did. But if they go back, they can see, bro, he's going to let us be destroyed. But see, they don't get that. And the moment he have gotten the number within him destroyed, guess what? We out of here. And that's real soon. Because Sister Deborah gone. Sister Deborah gone. I'm glad. Because once I'm gone here, I have my spirit mind. It's taking over. Okay? So therefore, when he said destroyed, he's talking about your mental state of mind. And that's why you see all this killing. And if you really sit down and hear them talk, you all can see it. You can hear it. You know, you had one person send me a video, say you need to go back. I said, I'm so tired of hearing that individual. That person is sick. That person is truly sick. And I sit back and I think about how sick this person is. And the father say, Deborah, that's his destiny. I was like, wow. Wow, what a destiny. What a position, a purpose. Oh, so watch this here. So by faith, Abel offered unto Ahiah a more excellent sacrifice. Now watch this here. By faith was Enoch was translated that he should not see death. By what? Faith. What's this thing with this faith? Now, how could this faith be you? How? You got to understand what faith is. Here in Hebrew chapter 11, verse 5, by faith Enoch was translated that he shall not see death, and was not found, because Ahiah had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Yah. But how did he get to that? How did he get translated? By faith. Faith is Yah. And when you go on and talk about his power, all that is consists of his power. That's what his power is consists of. So now listen to this. When I was kind of disappointed because the heathen were being grafted in, and I didn't want, because he told them to not buckle up against the branches or something like that. And I was like, well, wait a minute. They shouldn't be grafted in, and they ain't went through nothing. I said, well, why how they graft in? He said, Deborah, they coming from the heaven. I was like, okay, I got you. See, when they come from the heaven, y'all ain't nobody can't say nothing. And that's what I'm saying to you all. A lot of you all are already branded for his name's sake. And those that are branded run around here chasing those that are bound to their flesh. They're teaching out of their flesh. Everything that they're giving these people on these devil platform is about their flesh, or it's about the glory they can gain in their flesh. So what did he say then? So here we go. By faith, what happened? Abel gave a better offering. By faith, Enoch was translated. Okay? But listen to what verse 6 says in Hebrew chapter 11. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. See? You see that? So that's why Enoch said that he pleased God. You see that up in the top in verse 5. It says, before he was translated, he had this testimony that he pleased Yah. This is the works, y'all. You remember they tell you faith without works, baby, shut up and kick rocks. You don't know nothing about faith. Don't come here with don't come to Sister Deborah about faith. You don't know it. And this this is such a beautiful example, because Enoch is saying he was translated by Ahiah, okay, through faith. And he had one testimony he wanted to leave you all, not himself. He was leaving because he gone. He was leaving you all that he pleased Yah. Do you think he pleased Yah by getting him a farm, getting him some land, building him a house, getting him a church, and getting him 100 members, building him a church? That ain't pleasing Yah. He pleased Yah. That faith helped him to be 100 in Ahiah, because that faith is there to help you, not hurt you. Okay, now here go verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. So what are we gonna go? What are we gonna do, y'all? We gonna go and get us some works so we can please y'all? How are we gonna get those? It's got to come from within, y'all. The works. What are some of y'all's works? Take care of these homeless, the fatherless, the widows, the orphanage, to feed the homeless, to give clothing to the prisoners, the hospitals, visit those in the hospital. And hospitals don't need to, it don't mean like hospital people that's sick. You can go to the house. People that's in prison. Do you all know people are not just in prison behind bars? They in prison in captivity to the minds. Even that, you can be the witness. You know, that exactly what Sister Deborah's doing, whether you know it or not. Now look at verse 7, Hebrew chapter 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah began warning of Ahiah of the things not seen as yet. But what was he doing? He was warning them about what? What Ahiah was about to do. That's faith. That's that faith that's in you, you guys. So it's not the works of the flesh. It's not you building a house, okay? It's not you building something for yourself and your flesh. The works are spiritual. How many times when Yeshua got to the kingdom, and he had the goats and the sheep, he separated the goats and the sheep. And when he separated them, he told the sheep that the reason why you here is because you completed what was already in you. When I was hungry, what you mean when you was hungry? When were you hungry? It's a spiritual thing, y'all. It's doing the will of Ahiah in the spiritual mission. Somebody's hungry, give them something to eat. Somebody is without. That's the way since we're still running our race and we're in our lane. In our lane mean we're running, we're in spirit and truth, and we have the light, and we're running in our lane to the destiny of the narrow gate. That's at the end of that lane. So while we there, do things for someone that Ahiah has said that we should be doing to represent him. How you know? Go back to Yeshua telling you. Yeshua tells you he was separating the goats from the sheep. And then the sheep asked him, he told him, when this here is what was already prepared for you before the foundation of the world. So wait a minute, how did they get there? Because heavens had already orchestrated your home, y'all. See, we run around here trying to build a home on this earth, and our higher has already made your way. And this keep you from being under the tradition of men and get under the tradition to the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh. How about that? How about that? Okay. Now, even Abraham, verse 8. Even no. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to Noah, verse 7. By faith, Noah began to warn of Ahiah of the things not seen as yet. So Noah was out there warning the people about what Ahiah about to do. Look how long it took. But did that stop him from doing what? The works. Noah was doing the works. For who? Ahiah. You see, that's the works. It's spiritual, you guys. He is out there warning them what the Father had already warned him and told him, that the world finna end. He out there warning them to get in, to come on in. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That shows you what faith look like. That's the works. Not building you a house in a farm. You got a church. You got members on. You got a 5 million subscribers on likes on YouTube. That's not the works, y'all. That's the flesh. Because they ain't doing them but praising and honoring your flesh. Okay, now watch this here. Watch what happened. And this is what Noah did. Moved with fear. Okay, everybody in the live chat, in chapter 11 of Hebrew and chapter 7, can you write down in the live chat the brand of the Most High Ahiah? In verse 7, Hebrew chapter 11, verse 7, it says, by faith, Noah began to warn of Ahiah of the things not seen as yet. That's what faith is. You can't see it. Okay. Moved with fear, prepared an ark to save, to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness. See, that's the same thing happened to Abraham. He was counted righteousness. That's the brand, you guys. That's from the heavens. Now, when you go here and, oh, you got it already. Oh, all right. That's it. Faith, fear, and righteousness and belief. That's the brand. What does it say here? Which, what did it say? Heir. You see that H-E-I-R? Heir. You're already in there, Noah. You were branded for my name's sake. And these are the things. There you go. Y'all got them. Y'all got them. Y'all list them too. They were already, see, these are the words, you all, that they're beating out of you all. They're not giving you these things. And when they give it to you, they want you to detach it to a fleshly order. Faith ain't got nothing to do with your works, what you doing, because you got a land and you got fools standing on it and ain't got no spirit and truth. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't got nothing but what you done built. Like they remember the Tower of Babel, what is that, Bell or whatever. And you know the reason why those people was building it? They was trusting in each other. We gonna do this. We gonna do this. And Paul said, hold up. You gonna do what? You gonna do what? See, had not they were just trusting in each other, and they were trusting in y'all would have let them try to do a little something. But these people was trying to build something beyond y'all. And we're going to do this together. We don't want a card. We don't want a card. And that's what you see in the world today with all these Hebrew Israelite movements and cults and these Christian churches, these Catholic churches and these Muslim. Everybody got their own way of building their own little tower without Ahiah, which is spirit and which is truth. Because they don't think they need that. They figured, okay, we got wealth in our eye. We got money. We doing this. We building this. We got this going on. And they want to labor that. That's another thing. They labor that also with the fruit of the spirit. You know how a lot of them be talking about the fruit of the spirit? It's still spiritual out too. Isn't that deep? The fruit of the Spirit is spiritual. It is not natural. And they think they want you to think, or if I got 1 million subscribers, it shows my fruit. It shows you a fool. It shows you a fool, and it shows you a fool. Because 1 million subscribers is not the fruit of, what does it say? The fruit of the what? Spirit. Let's say it again. Fruit of the what? Spirit. So how is it that what you doing for your flesh and yours is connected to the spiritual realm of the Yah, of the Most High or higher? But that's the way they teach it and preach. So what earlier I was telling you about, the deceivers were created and ordained just to come down here to work to deceive those that will be deceived. Now, you have to understand something. It's no way the Father would bring or allow or create deceivers to come down here without giving them the multitude to deceive. Ain't that deep? That's deep. Y'all better wake up. This thing is spirit and it is truth. It's not what they say it is. Now watch this here. In verse 8, it says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he shall receive for an inheritance, he obeyed. And he went out not knowing whether he went. Why did he know where he was going? Because by faith, it was faith, what you can't see, but yet you believe. So that just showing you all. This is also kind of giving y'all insight. And then it says here, it says in verse 9, by faith he sojourned in the land of the promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacle with Isaac, Jacob, and the heirs with him of the promise. By faith. Now, what promise do you think that he's talking about here? By faith, so he sojourned in the land of the promise. Y'all see that? He sojourned in the land of the promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacle, which Isaac and Jacob, the heirs, which with him of the same promise. What is Abraham and Isaac and Jacob? What promise was that? I told y'all it's two promises. There's a promise for eternal life, and they got a promise for the land. You see? So that's why I tell y'all, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is a different in a different category as the forefathers. Okay, but the promise was given to them for the land, so we fall under the promise for the land. But in eternal life, we got to have what Abraham had, that got Isaac and Jacob had. And what was that? Belief, righteous faith, and fear branded in them. You see, that's why they were who they were. And did they sin? Yes. Did they do things that wasn't according to the righteous will? Yes. But Ahia didn't tell you to go behind them and mimic what they did. But no one wants to mimic what they did in the spiritual realm, but everybody want to get behind them and do what they did in their flesh. That's where you know it's wicked. That's where you know it's wicked. And even right here it says, through Sarah, through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive. Wait a minute. What is they talking about? Wait a minute. Do that make any sense? Wait a minute, Father. They tell these people faith without works is dead. They don't understand. You're talking about your works, spiritual works. It is dead. If you ain't got spiritual working with you, through you, and in you, you have not faith. So a lot of things I think Yah is doing is he's showing us in these last days what he has invested in us. I think that's what he's doing. Because listen to this here. Listen to this here. Listen to what Sarah, through faith, also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed. A lot of people don't understand that faith is connected to that power, because it's telling you she received strength to conceive, and was delivered of a child when she was past the age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. He had promised that, and he did it. So where is the works of Sarah? Where is the works of Abraham? Where is the works of Noah? Where is the works? Where is the works of Enoch? Where is the works of Abel? Why ain't they building and selling and planting and doing all these things that require works for faith? They didn't have to do nothing. Ahiah had did it. Sister Deborah, I didn't get to go all over. I can go right here still. So watch this here. In Ephesians chapter 2, what time I have? I'm gonna go a few minutes. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10. For by grace are ye saved through faith. That is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10. Now wait a minute. Faith, what you doing up in there? Faith, what you doing all up in the juice of saved? What are you doing up in there? Debbie, you know this is a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual thing. We in this together. See, and man is sitting around and telling you it got to be his way, his fleshly way, his fleshly wisdom, his fleshly knowledge, his fleshly understanding. Kick rocks. Now listen to this. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10. For by grace are ye saved through what? Faith. Well, where's this faith at, Father? Deborah, you can't see it. Cut it out. You know you can't see faith. And that not of yourself. It is a gift of Yah. Now, Yah is telling you faith is a gift from me. That's his brand. Remember, I was telling you it's 4 brands that he has come down here with. He has come down here with. That's what Yeshua came to get. When he was coming to fulfill, he was coming to die for everybody's sins. Okay? And he was coming to collect those who had got off the path. Okay? That's what he was coming to get. He wasn't coming to get nothing else. See, everybody else don't. And see, the Gentiles was already grafted in. They were grafted in heaven. How did they come in? Faith and belief. That's it. Because they were given that in the heavens. It wasn't what they did on the earth. It's what they received when they was in the heavens. And that's why you will have different nations in the kingdom. It's not just going to be the Hebrew Israelites. It's going to be other people, other nations and we don't be under nations. We're going to all be angels, spirits. But it's going to be others that wasn't in the Hebrew Israelites. So that shows you a lot of times when we are buckling up on people, let Ahiah do what he does best. He's right now judging. A lot of things are happening. And the only thing about what's going on, it's hurting. I'm feeling that thing. You all might not. I feel it because I see it. I see it for what it is. I see it for what it's going to be tomorrow. I see it for what it's going to be the day after tomorrow. And I see it on down the line. And that's what I heard from. Now, here in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8 and through 10. Now, listen to this again. Verse 8 says, for by grace are ye saved through what? There go that faith. And that not of yourself. It is a gift of Yah. So it's telling you, you can't be saved because you say you saved. You can't be saved because you chose to be saved. You can't be saved because you feel you saved. You can't be saved that way. You're saved by the faith through faith, and that not of yourself. It is a gift from Yah. Y'all, we just bent all up thinking we rule everything because we in this flesh. You see how ugly flesh is? Now, verse 9, that's still Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 9. Not of works, lest any man shall boast. See? Now, why is it people are talking about, and I hear that all over. I hear it everywhere by these stanky, loud mouth pastors. Faith without works, sit your tail down. You don't know what faith is, let alone works. Because they come hand in hand. It is spiritual. If faith is spiritual, then the works have to be spiritual. If the fruit of the Spirit is spirit, the fruit is spiritual, then the of the Spirit, it is of a spirit. The fruit is spirit. So how are you making fruit? Because you got 100 million subscribers. You see, they just sick. They just sick like that. Now, here in verse 9 of Ephesians chapter 2, he's letting you know, not of works. So y'all hear that? How you ain't telling you is what you do that's going to cause you to fall under faith. It's going to cause you to be saved. It's not what you do. He didn't ask your flesh to go do nothing on his behalf. He asked you your spirit. It's the only thing that he deals with. And that's what a lot of people keep getting bent up and down. They think that they're supposed to listen to everything they hear on these devil platforms and embed themselves, their mental state of mind and their hearts in it. Don't get away from that stuff, y'all. Now, verse 10 said, for we are his workmanship, created in the power. You see, they got Christ first, letting you know power. The power had to bring it to y'all. In case y'all didn't know that. That's why Christ is before Yeshua. He's letting you know the power stepped in this first. So in verse 10, for we are the workmanship created. When were we created? Before we was in our mother's womb. See, we thinking it's because my mother and father got together and that's who I am. No, baby, no. Before you were even here, you were there. Okay? So here he said, in Christ Yeshua, in Yeshua HaMashiach, in HaMashiach Yeshua, unto good works, which a higher has before ordained, we shall walk in them. He done it. He has ordained us before to walk in faith. So reason why this is very important for you all out there, you know how people were saying that all the religion, all of them, it's a certain way you have to do this, do this, do this, and do this, and do this. What about Yah? Did Yah tell you that? Did you hear it out of his mouth telling you this? No, these are traditions of man that has a tendency of locking people flesh under their subjection. And the higher say I set you free, and you're free indeed. So this is another way that most of the Catholic churches, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hebrew Israelites, all of them, Jehovah's Witness, they all fall under a category and control power of man. That leaves your spirit just out there because that's where he come in. Or how you come into your spirit. So if he can't abide in there and lead you and guide you, what do? He let your tail go on to your idol God, which is flesh and blood, a man or a woman. Okay. In Second Thessalonians chapter 3, in Second Thessalonians chapter 3, in verse 2 and 3, it reads, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. That we may be delivered. How you gonna be delivered? How you gonna be delivered? He's letting you know your flesh need to be delivered from these people. And this is what he said. Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 2. And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, men. Okay, now watch this here. For all men, men, have not faith. You all need to. Did you? Were you able to? No, you didn't be. Okay. It's Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 2 and 3. It's telling you men have not the faith. But what we do, we try to make a higher a lie just so we can live the truth and be up under those men. That's why they can't teach you out spirit and truth. They got to teach you the flesh way. And verse 3 said, but the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from that evil. He is faithful. Yeshua is faithful to establish you and keep you from that evil. Why? Because faith is in you and he is faith. And you will find yourself among all that evil, and he would have to be faithful to remove you and establish you and keep you from that evil. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now here we go in Second Peter. Second Peter verse 1. Second Peter chapter 1 verse 1. Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yeshua HaMashiach, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us. See that? See that, y'all? That's sad. It's sad. It is sad how we have taken on the flesh of man and have not seen that this race has always been spiritual. Now listen to what it says. Listen to what it says. Watch this here. Second Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yeshua HaMashiach, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us. See, the apostles had the brand too. They had it already branded in them. That's why, remember, I want to tell you how. Remember when Yeshua said, all that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. He was telling the Father, I got the ones you gave me. He said, all that thou hast given me, Father, I have not lost one. Why? Because they are branded for the Father's namesake. And here he is saying the precious faith with us. Now, this is Peter. This is Peter letting you know we have the faith, y'all. And through Yeshua HaMashiach, them that have obtained like precious faith with us through righteousness. There go righteousness again. Do y'all see that? Righteousness of Yah and our Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, there in Second Peter chapter 1, verse 1. There you go again. There it is again, showing you righteous and faith. It's showing you again. So you see how Sister Deborah is against the teaching of these people when they're not teaching you spirit and truth, because they're trying to keep you from being free. And the Father in heavens has set you free. And he said, you are free indeed. People can't receive these words from Sister Deborah because they can't receive him. He said, he that don't receive you, they cannot receive me. Yes, it's the brand. Exactly. And it's all up. If you all could just see all this study. And I said, Father, I can't teach this. This is just too deep. I said, you got so many belief, faith, and fear standing and righteous standing right next to them, letting them know that's a brand and nobody could see it. So from now on, when y'all start reading, y'all gonna start seeing it. Y'all gonna say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This thing is founded under those that are branded, you know? And then you can understand those are the ones that are, y'all. Those are the ones that are saved. It's not because you're a Hebrew Israelite. Okay? It's not that. Now I'm just going to cover this last one. I'm just going to cover this last one. And this is John. The Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 15 through 18. The Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 15 through 18. Now, Second Peter chapter 1 and verse 1, y'all should read that over again, and you could see where apostle Simon Peter was telling you all that you all too can inherit what they have inherited. We all in this through faith and righteousness. See, a lot of people thinking, oh, because they believe in Jesus Christ or Yeshua HaMashiach, or the white people said they've been grafted in. Baby, you can't be grafted in. You only grafted in if heaven says already grafted you in. That's just showing you where the power is at, y'all. That's all it's doing. It's letting you know I rule this. I said I am the beginning and the end. And if I'm the beginning and the end, I don't want to wrap this up in the beginning and all the way to the end, and it's still in my beginning because it was from me from the beginning. So while we trying to make him a lie, we looking to be liars. Okay. The Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 15. That whosoever believed in him should not perish, but have eternal life. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell you? And the belief is a brand. It's not because your flesh said, I believe, or I believe. That's not the belief the Father is talking about. It said, the Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 15, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Now, this is the question to you all. How can you define belief in the flesh? You can't. Belief cannot be defined in the flesh for the thing which is in the spirit. You ain't gonna find it. Because the belief of the flesh can believe this day on this and believe this day on that. But the belief in the spirit is a brand of the Most High Ahaya. It is what it said it is. It is belief. Okay. And these are, listen to what it says in verse 15, the Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 15, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish. Why they ain't gonna perish? Wait a minute, Father, y'all, wait a minute, hold up. I got a question. Why ain't they gonna perish? Deborah, you know they already branded. They branded. For what? For eternal life. That's what. Okay. Verse 16. For a higher so loved the world that he gave. He gave. He gave. And every time you see that word love, you won't be able to define love in a higher. Nobody. But he gave what? His only begotten son. You see that? That whosoever what? Believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Okay? Just letting you know. Just letting you know. This got to do with belief. You believe it's one of the brands. Okay? In verse 18. Now listen to this. In verse 18. He that believe on him is not condemned. But he that believeth not is condemned already. Already? What you mean? Can't they believe tomorrow? If they don't believe today, Father, can't they believe tomorrow? Deborah, stop it. The reality is, listen to this again, y'all. Listen to this. Verse 18. He that believe on him is not condemned. But he that believeth not is condemned already. Why? Because heaven has already condemned your tail. So you can continue to not believe. Because believe in you already condemned. When did they get condemned, Deborah? In the heavens. Those that believe is already branded with the belief. Okay. Now he said what? Because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten son of Yah. And this is why I was explaining to you all, and that's why a lot of people don't understand in Genesis 1, chapter 1 and chapter 2, when he said, let us. People don't understand that is the son of Yah. Us is the son of Yah. Nope, it's not Yeshua. It is the son of Yah. Who is the son of Yah? The Father's right hand. It is his power. That's who is us. People don't believe in him because they don't know. That's why he say denying the power therein. Because they have denied the power because they didn't know who the power was. But you know what? That might be caught up in He only allowed those, which I guess it is, to know his power and who the name is and who it is through those he had already branded. That could be it. Makes sense now. It makes sense. And he said that in the name of the only begotten Son of Yah. That's the right hand power. That's us in Genesis chapter 1 and 26. And that because this is why they didn't understand the perfect will. And even to today, a lot of these men that's teaching, they don't know nothing about the perfect will. It gives you an insight in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. If they could dissect each verse, it'll blow their mind. Even from the beginning, where he says, and Higher created the world. No, verse 2, starting with verse 2, when he said, let. Wait a minute, what are you saying, let? That's you. Who are you telling to let? Well, who are you telling that? He said, I'm talking to my power, Deborah. And that's why he said it was good. Because after his power brought forth what he spoke, oh, I like that. It's good. Okay. And in verse 19, it says, and this is the condemnation that light is come unto the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. And that's another thing Sister Deborah was telling you all. And I know a lot of y'all don't really remember it. And I know a lot of y'all do, though. But the thing about it is, it's understanding the light, okay, is a light that's in you. It cannot be hidden, you guys. It can't be hidden. Once a higher dwells in you, that's it. It's helping you to continue to walk this journey. You see, a higher is not coming into somebody that is not under the faith, the belief, the righteous, and the fear. Y'all didn't know that, did you? No, he's not coming to abide in that type of body. He's not coming. And see, a lot of people don't understand. It's a good thing. I'm gonna close. You know why it's a good thing? So man don't make the choice for us. That's why that's beautiful. That man can't make our choice for us. Because look, made many choices for us, even to today, telling us traditions and ways that we should supposed to be orchestrating and being what they said that we should be, and they ain't even about your father's business. But they want you to come up under their control, under their Torah, under their Greek and Hebrew language. And I just heard another pastor slash prophet. He was saying that the Hebrew language that these people, Hebrew Israelites, are teaching and preaching. Guess what he said? It's not even the real Hebrew Israelite language. I was like, that makes sense to me, but it don't bother me because I don't get caught up in it no way. It don't bother me. It don't faze me because I don't get caught up in it. And he broke that thing down. He broke that thing down. And then another man, I think from over in Israel, he was saying that no, it's not the language. That's not the true Hebrew Israelite. That's not the true Hebrew language that they're teaching. I was like, wow. Now see, because the first thing you get in this here thing, and the first thing, it's a new religion. It's a cult. They want to tell you got to do this, did. You got to dress, did. You got to act, did. But never tell you to do the things that really consist of representing your father. So I, Sister Deborah, say, I hope you guys got something out of it, and be more about your father's business, not about the flesh of man and woman and about the ways of the flesh. Be more about your father's business. And you know what? Don't think that I'm not crazy with what I'm about to say. Somewhere along the line, the things in which I am putting out there is always dedicated to people trying to turn their face to the Father. I don't give a rat's behind about no subscribers. I don't give a rat's behind about anything. I'm gonna be honest. My main thing is the works. These are the works that he's talking about. Faith without works is dead. And what he meaning is when you're giving people information and they have no faith to carry that information because they have none whatsoever works of the spirit in them. Sister Deborah is telling you what? This thing is spirit and truth. This thing carries the light. And what would the light do? It would show you the way to the narrow gate. Remember, he said, "Very few shall find their end," but it's got to be found. You need your light, and that light still is connected to the Ruach Hakodesh. So the more and more I realize, and it's been a year now, everything that I'm speaking has nothing to do. It's not detached to me or detached to the flesh. It is trying to get people to see the other side that always was, that is, and shall always be. And that's the spiritual side of who Ahia is. And just because he is who he is, he can be anything he want to be and do anything he want to do for you. You see? So, in with that being said, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, like he told me even about my children, and I saw it twice in the study, the Bible, where he said, if you do right with him, he'll bless your children. So y'all think about that. Wouldn't that be good? This just think. That's lovely. So therefore, you ain't gonna get people telling you that, because they want you to do good by them. They want you to keep coming to them so that they can be puffed up, boasted, pride minded, self centered, fleshly. Their whole ideal of everything that has to do with a higher is only flesh. They ain't giving nobody nothing. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate you all, each and every last one of you all joining me today. And I'll let you know I will be back. And someone had me to cover wants to cover the wilderness and the gathering. The wilderness and the gathering, and it was something there, somebody. We're gonna have to cover that, because honestly, y'all, I really believe that gathering, I mean that coming for what is his in this land of our captivity, I really believe that that's near. It's almost like I don't know, I just feel like it's real near. It's that close. I feel that, because I'm like, okay, Father, what else can it be? Yes, we got to go through Revelation, and Revelation is walking that thing up and down. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that I learned today. I learned so much about how the level of wickedness that's in China. It's rapping with the United States. China is the wickedest with y'all. That Chinese food, you better stay away from it. I it I was trying to explain to my son, and I got so dried out. I said, forget it. Just forget it. Because I didn't know where to start. That the father said he's left the light on. And the light represent things are clear for us to see now. So the light is saying that, look, y'all, I had told Satan he had to leave the light on. So now y'all can see what his works is doing. So the leaving the light, Satan has done and obeyed my father and have left the light on. So now you all can clearly see his wickedness. Even someone that's not even in spirit and truth, someone who don't have the light, everything is plainly seen. Ahia got it all plainly seen, so you can see everything. You walk around here and try to close your eyes and ignore it, that's on you. These signs is to let you to know to get yourself in order. Because if it's like this, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And you got to be in your lane. You got to be in the right place at the right time. Because the Satan, when I have seen, and I started earlier this morning, and throughout the time today, I've been just looking at it, and I said, Father, how can Chinese people make all this stuff to kill you? And then I said, okay, the United States is doing the same. Y'all, the stuff that they're putting in our foods today, the reason why it's okay for them to do it, because it been released for them to do it, because they had already been doing it. But right now, they doing even more. So a lot of the stuff like the rice, and rice is not rice. Eggs are not eggs. They were showing you how the China make fake eggs. And I'm like, how could they do that? And packaging them, sending them to chop suey places and places. They making it out of the chemicals, y'all. China, I do know that China started that organ trafficking years ago, 100 years ago. And it's been so successful to where they took on also years ago the uh, 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 sex trafficking. But since United States took on it to be the now they're the number one, because China is doing so well with their organs removal. And someone had something posted about people are selling babies on Craigslist. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is not stuff that's far deep. It's in there, y'all. It's actually happening. I'm seeing people getting elderly women in their own little places and doing their own little thing, getting killed and murdered. I'm seeing babies. I mean, just things happening, all kind of sick, sick, sick. And the father saying, "See, Satan left everything open because I told him to leave the light on." And see, I was thinking he was just leaving the light on for me. He says for the whole world could see. That's why they don't care about all these people dropping dead. They, Dr. Fauci, they get rid of him. Just told him you need to go under. You reveal too much information and you starting to look messy. So they took him out. But it's just so much that they're doing, Biden and Trump and the government and the system over in Jerusalem. Everybody is really working extra hard to show wicked and evil. I mean, at its highest. So I'm telling you, ain't nothing hidden, the Father said. And he said the reason that is because when we went up into Revelation, he was loosing them then. That's what the trumpets are for. That's what the thunders are being released. That's what the candles are being lit. He said all this stuff is to show you I'm releasing it. I'm loosening it from heaven so it can come to the earth. You see, and Satan is picking it all up and saying, "Okay, it's my time now. It's my time." And he just let him know, just leave the light on. Satan said, "I don't have no problem with that. I'm finna party," and he is doing it because the things that I see, I have never seen this much sickness in the world as it is today. Never. Clearly seen. You can see it so clear. It's not a blind man could see it. That's just how open it is. The name of that man that I was looking at was Yahweh bin Laden. I think it's Yahweh bin Yahweh or Yahweh bin Yahweh or whatever his name that was on YouTube. I was telling you all about it. Well, I seen other clips with him and Farrakhan. I'm like saying these people is off the chain. And these black people been telling y'all that they've been bothering them. They've been in slavery. They didn't do that. You should see the things that our people been doing. And how do we get away with this new religion saying they bothering us? They doing this, they doing that. What is wrong with these people? Do you not see what you are doing? And that's why I got caught up real bad. I was caught up a couple of years ago real bad with why these men is not correcting these men. I'm like, Father, why is it they're not correcting these men? What is going on? They're not correcting them or anything. And they all gonna fall down the same rabbit hole. So I, Sister Deborah, again appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. And I tell you what, I will be back. And I didn't cover all the verses, but I thank the Father for giving me all the verses so I can just read and I can see the deepness of how belief, faith, fear, and righteous is his brand that he has branded into us. That's what he has done. And this is something else he showed me. I didn't get around to it where he was going to put that division, and this mean hate between the serpent seed and the woman seed. Immaturity. Is that how now how did I pronounce it? Immature. D D. Imbody between the serpent seed and the woman seed. Okay. Now The woman seed is going to have the belief, the faith, the fear, and the righteousness. That's what the woman seed had. That's of those who came down here. Okay. So that's what they have. And their seed is going to hate the serpent seed. And the serpent seed is going to hate the woman seed. So that's something that Ahia has orchestrated, you see. But the heel and it represents the steps of Yah that he has orchestrated for the woman seed. And the head of the serpent is the serpent's plans. You know, how he think, how you set your plans, your thoughts, how you gonna do this and do this. The heel always gonna crush the serpent's thoughts, because the heel represents the steps that Ahiah has ordered for who? His righteous belief, his faith, and his fear, those that holds that seed. So I didn't get to cover that, but I just want to say to you all, thank you all so much. You know what? I was wondering about that too. I seem to believe that too. Do you know that? I really seem to, even though he said a lot of things that's really good. I'm gonna tell you something. That's why you can't measure them by their mouths. And that's why I try to tell people, you judge him by the spirit. You can't, you might not can, but you might. I was given the spirit of discerning. So I can't help but judge someone based on their spirit, because that's what he put in me to do. And I've been doing it since I was a little girl. But Furcon, I have heard that has a lot of blood. I can't say if that's true or not, but did you get to see it? That movie? Yep, they had a lot of killing. What did you think about it? When did you see it, and what did you think about it? But didn't they say they was the Hebrew Israelites? And tell me, didn't they say they were Hebrew Israelites? But they were way back in the days. And is this the one you saw? Were they wealthy, and weren't they killing? You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I thank you, Father. Yeah. Do you all know when I was used to go around people? I used to tell people I've been in the cage all my life. I ain't lying. And honestly, I thank the Father. That's what I thought. And they were wealthy. And I'm like saying, what the crap? And then these Hebrew Israelite men gonna talk about awakening. What are you awakened to? Anyone put the name of it's called Yahweh Ben something. Let me put it up here. But wait a minute now, hold up. What is it? It's Ben Yahweh. I think that's how that's I think this is how. Wait a minute, don't go nowhere. Wait a minute. I got to see some. I got to hear this here. I got to hear what you oh, I supposed to be in yes, it was. See, but see how we come and we thinking, oh, well, this is a new thing in the last 10, 15 years. These people been, and they was wealthy. Right. I'm like saying, what happened that we didn't see it, you guys? What happened we didn't see this? Right. Oh, you seen it too? Oh, I'm so glad y'all saw it. What he wicked? Do you know is he still living? Because I saw him with Farrakhan. I think it was a year or two ago. How could they be doing that? See, this is why I say to you all, I don't, Sister Deborah don't want to give you nothing but what spirit and truth and in the light. Something that's going to steer you toward the narrow gate. Because this is off the chain. This is off the chain. I did not even think something like that. I didn't know that exists. All righty. So okay, Sister Deborah is going to say, thank you all for tuning in. And if you can go see that video. But it's crazy. It makes you wonder. Stay out of this Hebrew Israelite movement. Yeah, the leaders were wicked. They turned on each other. They were going around killing white people, y'all, and other nationalities. But Ahia said that's what they did in the promised land. See, a lot of them been lying on my father, y'all. Let me say something to y'all before I get up here. They've been lying on y'all. See, listen to this. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. The promise was to Abraham that he would give his seed the promise of a land. Right? Right? Did not he give him that land? Did y'all know the father did give the land to Abraham's seed? Remember those that was in the wilderness, they died off, but their children made it to the promised land. So he see how messed up we are in our mental state of mind. He did give us the promised land, except for we went over there killing each other and profaning, not profaning, polluting the land and killing each other. He said we were like an unclean woman. What did he say? Like a woman unclean and not removed or something like that. And I'm like saying, so don't why are we running around here trying to charge him when we going to the promised land? You promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We've been promised the land. Look, you did get the land. You just messed up. You just was nasty and ugly and wicked on the land. Oh, so that's how you kidding. I got this. I didn't see the whole thing, y'all. I'm gonna have to. You mean that's how they stopped him when he went to killing them Gentiles? You got to be kidding me. But did you see how they was killing their own people, y'all? So that's how they stopped him, because he started to kill them Gentiles. Yes, they was picking up homeless. Do you see? Do you know those are the same actions today, y'all? I got a couple of three. It's three guys that's in Texas. They're older than I am. They got out of it. The Hebrew Israelite cult. They got out of it because they said the control was off the chain, and it's very emotional to be belittled as men because these leaders wanted them to do things that they knew they felt that they was not right. I remember 3 in the morning. This man got on my YouTube state pay, and son his number. He said, please call me prophetess. Please. Hey, I can't go. I can't go out there with them. They're planning on doing some wicked stuff. Please call me. And ever since then, his name was Marcus. We have been staying in touch. He's in Texas, and he's older than I am. He's a retired Marine, and he was saying how he was needing to go. They was doing this special event, but the event is required. They are required to do things and really go up against the white people that was walking in that area, this area that they was going in. He said, but we can get killed doing that. What they telling us to do? I said, don't go. He didn't go. And they got to him too. They sure did. But he finally got out of it. Him and his wife. A removed woman. That's what he said. And that's that's crazy, y'all. That was some crazy. I didn't get to watch all of it. I had to turn away from it because I know that he's shown me things that has been going on, but I'm just overloaded, with what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like saying, so let me tell you why. Because it's showing you that it's been going on. And we as a people trying to make us all goody, 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 especially our men. We're trying to make each other goody, goody, goody. But I suggest this to every woman out there. If you got a husband and you and him get along really good and y'all can talk about everything, stay with him, baby. Stay with him. And a man, stay with your wife. Don't let these people tear up your stuff. Because you all gonna need each other. And these ones that's out here, the way these people going in here killing these people. So I, Sister Deborah, say appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I'm glad my computer didn't die out on me. And I will see. I mean, I come again. I come again. Okay. So I say to you all, have a wonderful night. Shalom and shalom.